Hello, everybody. Bill Thornton, SoCal Sabre. Well, our season 26 in Superstar Baseball came to the final end this week. We'll be starting the playoffs next week. But as I promised you a while back ago, I would come back, show you how the final standings broke out, some of the stats that happened in our league. As you know, it's a 30-game regular season. Then we go into the playoffs. So I got a little bit of some stuff to show you up here. We'll start off with the final standings of the regular season. Let me get it going here. All right. Well, you can see that okay. As you can see, the ones is like that's Division 1 and Division 2. The Yankees had a really good season going 20-10. The 20 is the magic number every team likes to hit. White Sox were trying for it. As you can see, we're 19-11. So the way the playoffs work, the first and second place teams in each division make the playoff. Then the third place team with the best record is the wild card. Okay. So we have the Yankees and White Sox in this division. We have the Angels in Seattle in this division. Again, if you haven't watched it before, these are all all-star teams that just have names for flavor text, I guess. Angels in Seattle. My team, my Boston team really stunk it up. You see that 10-2? But Detroit fought its way. As you can see, there's 31. Houston and Detroit both tied at 14-16, and that was the wild card number. So they had to go head-to-head to determine the wild card, and Detroit beat them. So Detroit will be going over here because Detroit plays the second-place team with the worst record, or the least record. So they'll be going over here to play Seattle in the best-of-3 series in the American League. These guys will face off in the best-of-5 for the division. And then the Angels will face the winner of the Seattle-Detroit series in the best-of-5 for the division. Then the division winners will go on to the ALCS, and then the World Series. ALCS is a best-of-4, and so the World Series is a best-of-4. So let's go down here now and take a look at – let's get the National League up here. Got them all up there, yeah. So we got the Giants and Atlanta, first place teams, and they'll be facing off in the division series. Cincinnati at 15-15, they were in the running for the wild card right up until the end. And then over here we got St. Louis and Milwaukee. Pittsburgh won its last 5 games of the season to get to 16-14 and become the wild card. So they will be playing Milwaukee. There was a tie between Atlanta and Milwaukee to see who would play the wild card, and the owner of Milwaukee opted to just go with a run differential. We checked the run differential, and Atlanta had a better one. So Pittsburgh will be playing Milwaukee, and then the winner of that will face St. Louis in the division series. See what these numbers are up here. Of course, runs against. These are errors. These are the automatic outs. We call them KAs, the automatic outs that the guys got during the season. And these are errors. This is just the run differential between over here. St. Louis had a really good run differential. Let me go down there and see what that was. Plus 53. That is crazy. I never saw that before. We've got a plus 45 here, or minus 45 for Boston. That's the opposite end of the spectrum. Okay, let's see if I can bring up I'm going to bring up a couple charts here. Let me get going here. I'll go to the AL hitting chart first to show you how that worked out, because there are battles for hitting and home runs and RBIs throughout the entire season. Okay, here we go. All right, here's the AL batters. Huey Jennings won the batting title with 360, followed by Mike Trout, Sam Thompson, George Sisler, and Roberto Alomar. Then we had the RBI crown in the American League. I think I went right by it. Here we go. Check the American League race in the this is the American League, Miguel Cabrera with the big 30. The record's like 35 in the season. So hitting 30 is the extreme. That's the great number to have. But Nolan Arenado, 26. Juan Gonzalez is one of my guys on Detroit. Sheffield. So there was a real battle right in here. Cabrera had 3 RBIs on the final day. So he went into the final day with 27. And then so there was his average, his on-base percentages over there. And then we'll go over here to the home runs for the American League. Oops, went a little bit farther. Okay, and we can see that Willie Stargell had 9. What's amazing about that is Willie Stargell's owner only played him in 20 games, and he still had 9 home runs and won the crown. That is crazy good, really, really good. See, Beckwith had 8, and Cabrera had 8, or there's a bunch of guys in there with 8 that were chasing him, but Stargell won it. All right, then we'll go over here. Let's check out the National League. Okay, Willie Keeler, 336. He was Al Simmons and him are pretty much tied going into the last game, and Al Simmons had a really bad game. Then we got Tony Gwynn, Robinson Cano, Hornsby, Mel Ott down the line to 300 hitters, and Hugh Duffy, the final 300 hitter. So it was a good race again in that aspect. And then we're going to go to the RBI reports for the National League. Okay, Yogi Berra with 25 RBIs. I don't think Yogi's ever been on the top of that chart. I just had an owner or manager that liked to throw his numbers, I guess. Willie Mays was one of my guys, 23. Trotsky Perez is my guys, one of my guys. In fact, they're on the same team. With Mays and Perez are on the same team. So that was a good combination. And then we'll go down to the National League home runs. Okay, there it is, my man Willie with 10. Everybody loves to see the number 10. That's the one to get. I forget what the record is now. It's I think about like 15. But look at the guys that were wanting to get there. Joey Votto and Tony Perez both played on the final day, and they wanted to get their 10th but couldn't get it. Griffey, he's on Pittsburgh. That led to that 5-game winning streak. Griffey hit 3 home runs in the last 2 games of the season to power them in. Didn't have much of an RBI year, but he came alive when they really needed it. So that's it for that. I got one more thing I want to show you. If you guys have any questions, please put them in there. I'll get back and answer you. And hit that like button down there. If you haven't subscribed yet, if you want any questions about our league or our rules, this is 26 seasons. We've been playing since the early 80s. On and off. And so I got one more thing I want to try to show you here. We have a way of determining some things. Okay, well, I'm almost there. No, I don't want to leave the studio. Oh, I want to do this. Here we go. Okay, these are the All-Stars. I'll open it up a little bit more. These are just done purely by average, nothing else. Home runs and nothing figures into this. It's just by their average, by position. And every year we have these things. This is season 26. You can see the guys that made our All-Star teams. The amber means they led the league in hitting. And down here at the bottom, we have a system. It happened to be that Huey Jennings and Willie Keeler that led the league this year in hitting. We were the MVPs, but there's a lot more things figured into the MVPs, the number of hits, the number of triples, doubles, on-base percentage. We have a system that we've been using for quite a while. We put upon all the stats into it, and it comes up with this. This year we had a tie in the American League for the Cy Young. A lot of things go into the Cy Young: wins, losses, ERAs, strikeouts, complete games, quality starts. A whole bunch of data goes in there. Ed Morris and Pud Galvin tied. Over here, John Lester. This was pretty strange about our system. We've been doing this for many, many years. John Lester had a losing record. But the way our system, with all of the data that's compiled, it brought him all the way back out as the Cy Young. So we give it to him. Then we get the Rolaids Relief Award to Randy Myers and to Bruce Sutter. We don't call them the new ones, the Rivera and that, because we have Rivera and them playing and they play in different leagues. So we just stick with the Rolaids Relief Awards at the end of the year. Just, a lot of fun stuff. So let me get out of there. So that's it for our league as it stands right now. Playoffs going to be starting on Wednesday. I have my Detroit going in to play Seattle in the wild card. And in the National League, I have my Pittsburgh going in to play Milwaukee in the wild card. And then we'll be starting the division series, playing some of them, depending on whether the wild cards go 2 or 3 games. Well, I promised to get back with you, let you know how the standings was. I had 3 of my 4 teams make it. And so I'm happy. I'm going to have a lot of work, though, because 2 of them are wild card teams. But last year, Atlanta was my team and was a wild card team that ended up winning the World Series. So that's always possible. So anyway, let me know what you think. You guys play Superstar Baseball in any version. We play the Phil Graham version with the thousands of players. There's a whole bunch of different versions that are used, and some of the guys use the sheets with the numbers on the sheets and everything. Pretty cool. Let me know if you play. Let me know what you do. So this is SoCal Saber saying take care of yourself out there. Be kind to each other. Stay safe.